Illinois is currently ranked 19 after beating Nebraska last weekend. Penn State is ranked number 9 after taking a weekend off. Illinois is 4-0. Penn State is 3-0. So the real simple question here is Illinois still moving up? Are they going to get the upset over Penn State, or are they going to walk away with their first loss? So let's start over there with you, Justin. I know this one probably still hurts, so maybe you can get this one out of the way.
Yeah. Well, I do got to say, Illinois deserves a lot of credit. We were talking about earlier with the officials and stuff like that, and I saw too much complaining. I think, like, I understand there were calls that could have won Nebraska the game, but regardless, in my opinion, that changes nothing about it. Let's say we get one of those calls, we score a touchdown, go for 2 and win. The execution problems were still there, right? And Illinois still executed well. So what Illinois did and what Bielema did was they came out with a game plan and they executed it perfectly. They attacked Nebraska's 3-3-5 the exact way they should. We run a lot of man, and whenever we did run man, they did a lot of motions. What they would do is they would bring a guy across the block. Sometimes they always had a running back, and it was either an inside handoff, a quick hitting RPO, and or it's like a hitch or an out route. They didn't do anything too complex. But what they did was they made sure to spread the offense out. Sometimes they moved the pocket with Altmaier, and that opened up the middle. And then whenever they would give the inside handoff, it would draw the linebackers down, and then they would be able to throw it over the linebacker's head. And again, rinse and repeat, and then they'd get him in the box. They'd throw outside. It was a simple concept, simple scheme, but it was just Bielema looked like he had dialed up the perfect formula for Nebraska's defense. And I think if he can do that for Penn State, they can win this game. I don't know if I think Penn State might be able to execute a little better than Nebraska. I just think Penn State's ahead, of course, where Nebraska is naturally. But I'm not counting Illinois out of this. I think the spread's a little high. What Illinois did defensively, they have a lot of talent across the board. Nebraska really kind of, had to make some plays. But what they do well is they run very sticky man coverage. They do a lot of things defensively that are just kind of very much sticking to structure. And again, they don't do too much. They just play very sound defense. They mix up their coverages pretty well. And they're overall just nobody's going to kill you on their defense. Dennis Briggs Jr., number 6, look out for him. Number 28, Dylan Rosiak, the linebacker. He's excellent. He has had over 600 snaps last year. Very, very good. Number 7 is kind of a do-it-all type of player. Excellent. And then 14 and 10, number 14 and 10, I forget their last names. When I was watching film, I just go back numbers. But they have incredible ball skills. And so Aller's going to have to be on, and he's going to have to really be able to make sure his throws are where they need to be, or else Illinois could force a couple turnovers. They're opportunistic, and they could make this – they could turn this game around. But I think Illinois keeps this within a touchdown. I would say probably – I'm going to go 24 – let me go – actually, no, let me go sorry, let me go 34-27.
34-27, right. Yeah, shoot, where'd it go?
Might be a little lower scoring than that, but I was thinking 24-27, 21-27, but I'll stick with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised. It'll be interesting to see if it is that close. Nevada Buck here has it at 16-13. I mean, how long has it been since Illinois playing Penn State has been in that kind of a question? Pete, let's go over to you.
That was 20. Was it 2021? The 7 OT game, 7 OT, whatever. They went to OT and Illinois won it.
Okay.
Oh, versus Penn State,
yeah, versus Penn State, yeah. Was it 7 OT?
The 2-point conversion fest.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part about predicting this game for me was it's kind of a styles make fights type of deal, and I think Illinois matched up very well physicality wise with Nebraska, and I think their game plan, they executed it well on Nebraska's 3-3-5. It's just a matter of what game plan Bielema brings for Penn State, and can it be as effective? That is, of course, the recipe here. But from what they showed, I have no reason to doubt it.
All right, Pete, let's go over to you. What do you got?
This is a fun matchup, and I was not expecting to say that preseason. No. But the Illini, they're built like Brett Bielema built his teams in Madison. I mean, we saw flashes of it in 2022 with their elite tailback. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he was he was very good for them, and they are built in that same, mold this year, except even better. Their offensive line is better. They are mauling people. It's really fun football to watch for me. It is Big Ten football to a T, and I really love it. I think the styles of this game are so interesting. I mean, Allar's only threw the ball 58 times through 3 games so far. That's not much more than Michigan's throwing the ball around. Um, they're not dependent on him to win games. They're relying on Singleton and Allen to bruise people as well, much like Illinois. And so we're going to see I would think, a lot of rushing yards in this game, although the Penn State defense is kind of known with Abdul Qadir for shutting down the run game. But, Altmaier hasn't turned the ball over yet, through 4 contests. That's remarkable. He might have fumbled, but I know he hasn't thrown any interceptions. And so he takes care of the football, but he not only does that, he makes plays with the football. He can extend plays with his legs, and he is accurate with the football. And Illinois is a fun team to watch, and I'm going for it. I know it's in Happy Valley, but I think the Illini continue to perform well, and they get the dub, 31-28. Illini, I'm taking them to win it outright.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. All right.
31-28, so by a field goal. All right. Garrison, let's go to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at this game. I'm plus 18.
Yep.
That's
They're giving no shot to Illinois.
That's crazy.
That's called free money, everybody. No, I think I just tossed myself into picking Illinois, and you guys helped me do it. Honestly, I think that this game being at 7:30 does mean something. I think it's the hardest place to play in the nation. Especially at night. Don't care what any of you SEC fans say. I think Drew Aller's playing better this year. I trust Illinois' defense more than I trust Penn State's right now. I honestly do. Penn State doesn't have the weapons on the outside to, I think, even threaten Illinois' defense. On the other hand, I'm blanking on his name, but Penn State lost their best defensive back. Luke Altmaier can make a lot of plays, man. He can make a lot of plays. And I think when you're going against a guy like Abdul Qadir and the rest of that defensive line, not to mention Illinois has a nice offensive line. It looks like what Wisconsin used to look like.
They block really effectively.
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't know if on paper, I don't know if Penn State's better than Nebraska. I think this is Illinois is winning this football game. They're gonna win this football game. I mean, a score. Give me 27-20.
27-20. All right.
I don't know. And I don't know why. Every inch of me says Penn State's gonna win this game, but
We're calling a lot of games like that this year. I don't know why I'm calling that, but that's what I think it's going to be. All right, Mac, you're up.
So I think that
whoa.
You guys hear that?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Drag racing
All
going
right,
on.
dude.
They're
There
drag
are
racing in the
apparently-
cul-de-sac there. Eh?
There are apparently drag races that happen down here.
Entirely
cool.
legal ones, I'm sure.
No.
No.
No, but no, that's what my wife found out is on Holland Informed is that the police are actually looking for a drag racing gang. Anyway,
We got Fast and
Holland?
Furious.
Wait, in
you know,
Holland?
in Holland, yeah, no, really, that's
So
legit.
crazy.
They start over at the beach over at Ottawa State Park, and they start over there and then go down towards downtown, and then sometimes come over this way.
Is one of the cars called the Flying Dutchman? Yeah, you like that?
Well,
That's
No.
funny because Holland, it's Dutch. I
Yeah.
get it. That's
Big
great.
Dutch swag. If you ain't Dutch, ain't much.
Fast
I know what to
11,
say.
Holland.
Fast 11. I think they're on Fast 12 now, aren't they?
That's disgusting.
It's stupid. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so I'm tempted to just take the Kent State game and disregard it completely because it's Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I just feel like Penn State's most impressive performance remains the West Virginia game.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's actually kind of a bad thing.
Mm.
Not that West Virginia is like not good, but more like I think that kind of emphasizes how concerning it was that Penn State's defense struggled that much against Bowling Green. And I think if you look, at Bowling Green and Illinois, whose offense is better? I think it's Illinois.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So conventional wisdom says, okay, Penn State is just an all-around good team. They've definitely improved year over year. They've got I guess, 1.5 blowout wins, I would say. But the fact remains, Illinois is built. I mean, I can't remember who said it, but they are built like a traditional Big Ten football team. And they are really good at punching you in the mouth. And Luke Altmaier is a really good quarterback, and they've got themselves a really good offensive line now. And when Penn State goes up against a complete offense, I feel like their defense just kind of falls apart. And not in a glorious, explosion of fire and sadness kind of a way. Or you can chip away at them like Michigan chipped away at them last year. I mean, Penn State's defense knew what was coming the entire game, and they still couldn't stop it. So I'm honestly kind of shocked that I'm not the only one who wants to pick Illinois because, again, like conventional logic says Penn State should win this game. It's a night game. It's at Penn State. Penn State probably has a better offense than Illinois, but Illinois is, I think, an all-around more solid team, I guess. Like their performance week to week doesn't fluctuate. They're good. I mean, the two ranked teams that they played them kind of close, but they won both of them. I mean, Penn State's over here playing footsie with Bowling Green. Like, what's going on with that? I'm going to go ahead and pick Illinois too, just for the heck of it, just because I feel like they can do it. I mean, conventional logic says that Penn State's going to win, but I just feel like Illinois is gonna pull it off.
They also have Kate. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say big game. James Franklin is gonna show up again probably. He's 3-17 versus top 10 teams. I know Illinois is not a top 10 team.
Yeah,
he's got a slightly better record versus top 25 teams, but not much better.
And that's probably the difference. Illinois, I feel like, is good enough to put Penn State in a position where James Franklin is going to lose the game via coaching. At some point during the game, James Franklin's going to need to make a decision. And that decision is going to be the difference between Penn State panicking and falling apart or Penn State pulling off the win. And James Franklin somehow or another always seems to end up on the wrong side of that decision. So I think that's the game right there. Is Illinois is good enough to take this to the fourth quarter. And if it does go to the fourth quarter, James Franklin is going to coach them out of a win. And that's why I think Illinois wins.
The one thing Illinois does well is they have an offensive identity and they don't deviate from it, right? They do what they do well, and they change up some concepts of what they do, but they don't deviate it from it much. And this season, like I said, what it's been a part of, or what it's been a lot of, is just, they came out with 4 passes, 2 runs in that early slate, getting Altmaier in a rhythm. It's quick hitting stuff, move the pocket, try to put your offense in a position to where, like against Nebraska's pass rush, they made sure that ball was out of his hands quick, or they were moving the pocket to move him away into space. And then that way they were able to execute. So I just think a lot of it is Bielema more so executing his game plan throughout the game. And I think that just could ultimately end up wearing down Penn State. And kind of like to your point, I don't know if Penn State will make the necessary adjustments, because I don't know if Penn State has an identity that we can point to just yet. And Caden Fagan is 6'3", 250, by the way, the running back for Illinois. So it's tough running into that line.
I do want to say this. There is a chance that Penn State blows their doors off.
100%.
And so I also don't want to take away from that fact, or maybe facts, but I mean, because if they do that, I'll give them all the credit in the world.
Yeah,
Because I don't think beating Illinois is easy, but if they go out there and they just, I mean, get the crowds into it. Luke Altmaier, he's never seen a stadium like this before.
Mm-hmm.
He's never seen an environment like this before. I'm not gonna say.
Calm down.
I'm sorry, man. I'm still bitter. I lost money, man.
In our defense, both our starting cornerbacks were out. Tommy Hill went down early in that game. Bly Hill was already out. We're already bad on.
I was even more upset because I took time in the first quarter to tweet at Cliff saying, "Hey, my Raiola coming out party. It's on the way."
When Tommy Hill went down, they picked on our corners for sure.
Oh man, I said
Mac,
300
did you have a
yards,
pick?
man.
Oh yeah, sorry. Illinois 31-27.
Okay, another question for you guys. Does the 12-team playoff save James Franklin's career?
Yeah,
He's got the most to gain from it. One of the programs.
With some of those teams he had, he would have scared a lot of people with like the Saquon Barkley and McSorley teams with Mike Gesicki in them. Who were the receivers they had? Like, oh no, that team would have scared a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets in it. If not, it might expedite his firing. So
yeah.
But that's the thing. I feel like Penn State's always hovering around like somewhere around 15, so they're always like on the edge. And then, I mean, I feel like it would have been a situation where the 12-team playoff saves James Franklin for a few years, but then he gets fired because he keeps making the playoff and can't win the first game.
But I think if you're Penn State, like making the playoff consistently, I think that probably is like their standard almost.
Yeah. Never forget. I mean,
or like that's the height of their standard.
He almost made a playoff. They just thought Ohio State was better even though they beat them. That sucks, but
yeah. But I mean, I can't imagine. Like, if we were still in the 4-team playoff, I can't imagine James Franklin coaching in a 4-team playoff game. I mean, you want to talk about big game James. Like, he would coach them out of that game for sure. Like, they would lose every 4-team playoff game they would ever make because he would coach them out of it. I mean, undoubtedly.
Wow. Yeah, without question. That 2016 year, I mean, they lost to Pitt. Like, don't lose to Pitt, and you make the playoffs.
Exactly, yeah. Sam Hartman's looking downfield for Adrian
Barger almost has a one-handed catch.
Almost.